It's interesting because as we were talking prior, is there. It goes back to what I say about Manchin, and we could talk about it with Cory Bush if we want. But what are you there for? What is your motivation? What is the why? And for instance, me in my heart, I want to be radical. I want Biden to make national election day a national holiday. I want him to make DC a state. Like I want him to push, 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 push. And so maybe someone like me would get inspired to run. Maybe Cory Bush felt that and she decided to run. Maybe Nina felt that and she decided to run. So when you get to the stands, you want to do what got you there. Does that make sense? So it's like they believe they got into the game to blow up the system. And so now they want to just campaign on that and defend that. And I don't think they're right or wrong. I will always respect the fact that they are at least consistent. Like you talk about the abolitionists, it's like at least they're going to stand on that, and if they go down, they go down. I understand your idea of let's do it together, let's do it the right way, but there's a lot of people in this country who see what the right way has gotten them. Right? They begged us to vote in 2020. They begged us to get two senators in Georgia elected, and we did. And then they go around and say, "Well, we still can't do everything." So it's like, all right, what's left then? If we did everything we can and we still can't get things done? What is left but to blow up the system? So I know it's a very cynical view, but what you know what I
Yeah, but
mean?
this is my pushback on that, and this is something that's really really funny. Um, Someone, and I think this was in response to the results in Ohio 11. It was about the whole argument against incrementalism. Okay, and would you agree that in many respects the Affordable Care Act is incrementalism? The
Yeah, I
Affordable
would
Care Act,
very much so.
the,
Yeah,
the Affordable Care Act is in place and it's helping people and it's doing stuff for folks. And now all the people who are decrying incrementalism, I don't know how I pronounced it a few minutes ago. Now I can't pronounce it. But incrementalism, I don't know. You see these folks, they're decrying it, but they haven't gotten shit. So
yeah,
the people who are doing incremental shit are moving the ball forward. And so you say it's not working. You say what we're doing is not working because it's not happening fast enough, but it's happening a lot faster than this my way or the highway shit that just either win or lose. So they can bemoan incrementalism. They Obama could have held out for a public option. He could have held out for this. And you know that our happy asses could be sitting here right there today without anything, without an Affordable Care Act, without anything. So you can bemoan incrementalism all you want, but if you're going ahead and saying we want to go ahead and we want what we want and we want it now, and you don't get it now, you ain't got shit. Whereas with incrementalism, you're moving the ball forward. So I understand why some people are saying, well, it's not happening fast enough or what have you. At least it's happening. Because what's happening now is a lot of folks who are just saying, we want it all now. They're sitting there with their, think about it. They're not, we're not any closer right now to Medicare for all than we were when Bernie first ran for president in 2016. Are we? No. And so this whole backlash against incrementalism, it what it does is it leaves you with nothing if you don't get what you want.
all right. And I'll say two things to that. The first thing is there might be an argument to say, and I make this argument for the defund the police people, the abolitionists, the AOC people. I make this argument that if you consider Biden a moderate and you are being loud and pushing him to the left, to the left, to the left, maybe the increment stuff that he does get done doesn't happen without you trying to push him even further. Does that make sense? So it's like the idea of a negotiation where you're like, no, I need $100 billion, but I know in my mind you might not be able to get 100 billion, but I'm trying to get something out of you. So I can make the argument that people on the left who are pushing, pushing, pushing do help get the increment stuff get passed. That's the first thing I would argue. The second thing I would argue is uh, there's a reason that the young people are pushing for this is the now stuff. It's because there's a little bit of a clock here, right? With climate change, with healthcare, with the pandemic, we're seeing how some of these problems these older people might not have to deal with in 10, 20 years that we're going to get stuck with. So people say about climate change, if we don't do anything in the next 12 years, then we can't do anything, right? So it's like it's the idea of, well, how long do you want me to wait? Because we are actually running out of clock here. So that's the other thing I would say there is there's a lot of us. Sometimes I do it too, right? It's just we need this now because sometimes we just do need this now. We need universal healthcare. We need better healthcare now, especially because of the pandemic. We need a universal income. We need all this stuff now because there's people who are suffering, and it doesn't seem like that's getting better. Minimum wage has still been the same. There's no incremental passing on that yet, right? So that's my whole thing is like we're some of this stuff we're running out of time here, so we do need it now.